No doubt about it. This is weird.
From the land of conjurers, flying through the internet to your device like a UAP, hauntingly unexplained and downright weird, this is the Witching Hours. And we are ready to take off in the flash of an eye. Good evening to one and all, wherever and whenever you are listening to this program. I am Frosty, and joining me as always is the medium, Jenny Lee. How are you doing, Jenny?
I think I'm okay. I'm here.
Yeah. It is the end, Labor Day for many, the end of a long weekend, I guess, upon us.
It's the first day of September.
The first day of September, which I think for you means pumpkin spice and autumn decorations. And
yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm still in Hawaiian shirts, so
That's
we're kind of split here. We're kind of split here. Well, it's still a little. Well, the weather is starting to change in the Mid-Atlantic here for sure. We're getting some. Starting to get the false fall.
This is false fall. Yeah,
we'll have our second summer here soon.
We're gonna have Indian summers around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but we're getting the first taste of it. So I hope everyone is enjoying.
I've been enjoying it.
This Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone got a chance to hang out. Welcome in, everybody. It's so glad to see all of you in here again on another Monday night in the Witching Hours, and we got another great show for you tonight. So thank you to everyone who's here, everyone who's hanging out. Tonight is going to be a little bit different than it is on a normal night, and I do want to say thanks, Shadow Max, for the resub for 1 month. Thank you so much. Tonight is a little bit different than most nights. Because we're going to have a little giveaway tonight. Our guest is Rob Gutro tonight, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of fascinating things. But if you caught him the last time he was on our show, and when we were at the Paracon, and he was one of our guests there,
this is the third time he's been on.
He does pet medium readings. And so we have been kind of letting everyone know, if you weren't aware, you can enter into that tonight. There's going to be 2 short readings that we're going to do at the end of the stream. But there's a couple of things that you have to do in order for that to happen. And what you have to do is you have to go into our Discord page, and I'll have one of my producers or engineers throw up that link real quick. Of my army of people I have working for the Witching Hours. And we'll get that into the chat for the Discord. And what you can do is there is a channel inside the Discord channel is a thread called, let me see if I can find it, Upcoming Gift Share Pictures. And if you go in there, what you're going to see is you are going to see a whole lot of very cute animals in this thread. But what you have to do is you have to say, I would like a reading, and post a picture of your past loved pet, and put the picture of your pet and and maybe a name in there. And when we get to that part of the show, you can get on the wheel that we're going to spin to have a couple of readings. So we'll see how that goes tonight, and we're looking forward to it and glad that maybe we can see what we get for pets that are coming in tonight. So that's one thing we have going on. Other than that, I don't know. Is there anything else that we need to talk about that's been going on, Jenny? We're kind of in a lull in our travels. We'll be going to, we're going to be joining Sam Baltrusis next month, though. We're not that far away now in Gettysburg.
Yes.
So I think they said it's, there's some VIP tickets left. Other than that, it is sold out, I think. So if you want some VIP tickets, you can purchase those, and you can join me and Jenny in Gettysburg next month. You can go and check that out as well. All right. Well, you ready to get into some news, Jenny?
Yes, sir.
So I do want to say before we get into news, thank you for joining us on the Witching Hours. If you're listening now, if you're listening later, We aim to be your home for the paranormal, supernatural, and unexplained. And if you enjoy the show, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If there's somewhere you find that we aren't, let me know and I'll get us there, because we're just about everywhere. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like and click the bells and all those things, because the reviews and ratings really do help more people find the show. So if you like what we do, leave us a review and more people can find us. And now we'll get into the news. Story 1. Man spots Bigfoot-like creature wading across river in Oklahoma. In a recent sighting submission to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, 62-year-old Jeff Power described an encounter with something unexplained at 8:15 in the morning on August 4th. He had been heading to work and had been driving on the bridge over the Canadian River when he spotted a large, dark shape wading through the water around knee-deep. The creature was at a distance of 80 to 120 yards and was heading for the northern bank. He noted that it was walking on 2 legs, but otherwise unable to make out any details. Keen to get another look at the creature, he turned his vehicle around and drove back, but by the time he reached the river, it was nowhere to be seen. He later clarified that the beast had been huge and was wider than a 50-gallon drum. As a veteran deer hunter, Power is certainly no stranger to identifying wildlife, and whatever this was, he said he had never seen it before. It's kind of been a lot of Bigfoot sightings here recently that have been popping up in the news.
We like big feats around here.
Yeah. Story number 2, the search to find the plane of Amelia Earhart. This is, this is something that's, since I was a little.
They've been looking for that for a long time.
Forever. It is one of the most famous aviation disappearances in history. I'd probably say it is the most famous, probably, as far as I know. Although there's been some recently that have, I guess, started to rival that a little bit, but experts may be one step closer to finally locating the wreck of Amelia Earhart's plane, which vanished nearly 90 years ago.
Wow.
Crazy. The legendary aviator and her navigator, Fred Noonan, set out from New Guinea in 1937 as part of her bid to become the first female pilot to circumnavigate the world, and they were never seen from again. And despite the most extensive sea and air search in American history up to that point, no trace has ever been found of Earhart or her Lockheed Electra plane. Now, a deep sea exploration group has restored a radio identical to the one used during the fateful trip, and they say it's helped them significantly narrow down their search area. Our latest radio communication analysis is a major leap forward in solving one of the most enduring mysteries in aviation history. Dave Jordan, president of Nauticos, the company behind the mission, said, "We have narrowed the search area dramatically, and this new expedition presents our best chance to finally locate Amelia Earhart's plane." Nauticos, who specializes in deep sea exploration and historical research, procured and restored a Western Electric 13C aircraft transmitter and a Bendix Model RA-1A receiver in 2020. The radio system is identical to the one used on Earhart's final flight and has finally allowed the experts to determine the plane's approximate location at 8 a.m. on the day it vanished. The groundbreaking discovery significantly refines the search area near Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean, the intended destination of Earhart's ill-fated journey. Until now, an area of seafloor measuring a total of 3,600 square miles, roughly the size of Connecticut, had been meticulously surveyed in a bid to find the wreckage. So,
wow.
They're able to narrow down the search field, I guess, to be able to try to find debris. It's 90 years ago. So
it's a long time for it to get washed away and covered up and
rusted. And
yeah.
So I don't know. But I guess if they're going to find it, this is probably as good of a shot as any. At least 800 were killed as a 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocks Afghanistan. At least 800
a day, right?
Yeah, at least 800 people have been killed and more than 1,300 others injured in Afghanistan after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit the country.
Wow.
The earthquake struck 17 miles from the eastern city of Jalalabad, near the border of Pakistan, at around 3:30 p.m. East Coast time Sunday. They've launched a massive rescue operation and mobilized hundreds of people to help people in the affected areas. So already a lot of already a lot of death and injury there. So
It's been so much volcano and earthquake activity. It's been a little interesting.
well, that's one of the reasons I put the story in here, because it's just been earthquake and volcano, and they've just been going off like crazy. And I can't imagine that there's no correlation there. I'm not an expert on it, but it seems like there's something going on. So I think it's just been important to keep an eye on. Me and you have been like, okay, we need to watch these volcanoes and stuff, because I think there's something going on possibly. So keep that.
There's been like a flurry of earthquake activity in South Carolina over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Not clearly not crazy ones like that one.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, we get a lot on the East Coast. A lot of people don't realize that. West Coasters think they have the monopoly on the earthquakes, but we actually on the East Coast get more earthquakes than California does.
We do?
We do. We get more earthquakes on the East Coast than they do on the West Coast.
They're smaller, so we don't notice.
They're just much smaller. Yeah, we don't get the big ones like they get. And the last story for tonight, story number 4, James Webb Telescope takes the first look at an interstellar comet Atlas with unexpected results. So we've been talking about this interstellar object that's come in.
Oh yeah, the same thing that
similar to Oumuamua, and the Harvard professor has talked about it possibly being an alien spacecraft or probe or whatever. However, they were able to turn the James Webb Telescope onto it, and it has observed it. And I kind of skip along to the end of the story here, where they're trying to uncover the characteristics of Atlas, including its size, physical properties, and its chemical makeup. And as expected, and it hadn't showed signs of this previously, but Atlas is outgassing as it approaches the sun, and astronomers have used the telescope to identify carbon dioxide, water ice, carbon monoxide, and carbonyl sulfide in its coma. So it definitely is acting like a comet.
No, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what wasn't expected is it does have a very high ratio of carbon dioxide, the most that's ever been observed in a comet, carbon dioxide to water. So they will get some important scientific information maybe from this, which has given us some ideas of how it was formed outside, being interstellar. But it looks like, unless something changes, and that can happen, that we don't have any kind of alien mothership coming at us quite yet.
Okay, well, boo.
And that was the weird news.
Nice.
All right. Nice, you guess.
Yeah.
Well, there was no
microplastics.
Microplastics tonight.
There was tough. There was a tough one in there. Yeah.
Rob Gutro is a best-selling and award-winning author, paranormal investigator, and medium with inspired ghost tracking. Since he was a teen, he could receive messages from ghosts or spirits. In 2005, Rob's late puppy passed, and which enabled Rob to communicate with pets. That knowledge inspired him to write his first book in hopes of bringing understanding and comfort to grieving pet parents. As a meteorologist, he also provided scientific explanations on how energy is the baseline for the afterlife, and that medium entities use to communicate. He has 3 series of books: Ghosts and Spirits, Pets in the Afterlife, and The Ghost on a Medium's Vacation. His books also explain the difference between a ghost and a spirit and how they communicate with the living. His books are available on Amazon in paperback, ebook, and audiobook formats. Rob participates in private paranormal investigations, helps humans ghosts cross over, and has provided countless messages from people or pets as ghosts or spirits. He even lived in a haunted house many years ago, and he provides pet readings and gives fundraising lectures for animal rescues to teach people how pet spirits communicate. Please welcome to the show for the 3rd time our guest and friend, Rob Gutro. How are you doing, Rob? And welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hey, doing great. I hope 3rd time is a charm.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will be, because we had an absolute. We got to have you on the show up at the Paracon, but we had an absolute blast being able to hang out with you for the weekend. So we're so glad to have you back on. We've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, you were really the highlight of the entire weekend, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
It was so great to spend time together.
I kept
Yeah, it
telling
was wonderful.
everybody as this episode was approaching, I was like, we are, Rob is our new BFF, just so everybody knows, after our time at Paracon together.
Well, and
Yes.
I have to say that Monique really kept us in stitches,
Yeah.
especially about how it was so hot in there, and she wanted to go over to the big fan. And
Yeah, it was.
I'll just stop right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was warm. But you know, it was a good weekend, and you know, like I said, it's so great to be able, you know, to meet guests that we've had in person and just be able to spend some time and hang out. And so we really enjoyed it. We really did.
Me too.
All right. So, well, it's been a little while because time just keeps pushing on because we've already hit September. When we booked the show, it's like, that's forever, man. We're not going to have him on forever. And then here we are. It's here. And so what have you been up to since we talked to you last?
Oh my gosh. So, since we talked, so I've been working on 2 books. I just finished one of them, which is coming out on pre-order on September 15th.
Nice.
I haven't even announced it yet. So
how do we get an announcement here?
You get the
On
announcement.
the witching hours.
Yeah, and it's called the Ghosts of Linville Manor, investigating Maryland's most haunted house. It is an Airbnb that I investigated as part of the Inspired Ghost Tracking team back in 2017, and extremely haunted. So, and I am going to give you a sneak peek at the cover.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Cool.
There we go.
I have a co-author on this too. He's the guy that actually owns and operates it. His name is Wayne Brewer.
Nice.
Yeah. So so we worked together on this book. I put it together within 4 months.
Wow.
From the report.
Quick.
Yeah.
That's quick. Yeah.
That's a lot of caffeine.
Yeah. A lot of typing, a lot of reading, a lot of editing.
Yeah. So that comes out October 1st. But people can pre-order it starting
just in time for spooky season.
Yes. Yeah. And so the reason he wanted to do this is because Home and Garden Television was in touch with him, came down and filmed on location, and it's going to be a special airing
neat.
during the month of October. So he said, hey, how about if we write a book together? I said, okay. And I said, when do you want it by? And he said, mid-September. And this was, this was the end of April. I was like, okay.
Oh, boy.
September of what year? 2026?
Yeah. So that was that. In the meantime, there was something else in the interim, and you already met my co-author. So there's another book we've got together coming out in January, and it is called The Haunting of Hunt Memorial Library in Nashua, New Hampshire. And nobody has seen this cover yet either, but here is a sneak peek.
Oh,
yay.
So you're getting all the exclusives tonight.
We are. All of the
breaking news.
Yes. Breaking news for new books. I love it.
Here we go.
This just in, Rob Gutro is releasing 2 new books.
Yeah.
Within 5 months.
Oh, that's great.
Or 3 months, yeah.
Well, that's great.
So,
tell us a little bit, because we don't want to, we don't want to know too much because we want people to read the book. But tell us a little bit about the one coming out in October.
Well, the Linville Manor is an Airbnb. Wynn purchased this home on auction years ago, and he wasn't expecting to find a historic home that was on auction that was affordable, but he did. And a lot of the furnishings, a lot of the wallpaper and so forth was still intact. And it has a rich history with a number of different families. The original house that stood on the property dates back to the 1600s.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there was, well, I'll just tell you, they had to rebuild, they had to build another house on the same foundation. And that caused problems. of our kind of problems. So
Yeah. Somebody
there-
wasn't happy about that.
yeah, there's a lot of dead people in this particular
Mm.
place, and so he rents it out. I mean, he does events. They have paranormal groups come in and out all the time. People stay over. They rent it out for parties or weddings or whatever. If you don't mind staying in a room that may be haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fun to me. Let's go.
So we put all these things together, and also we included some of the guest experiences, and there are quite a few of them. And he has set up this mansion after the game of Clue. So there's a library and there's a study, and there's a kitchen.
I love Clue.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really awesome place. So everybody should go visit the Linville Manor in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, before you can't get in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about the one coming out in January.
So the Haunting of Hunt Memorial Library. This book came up as a result of our book signing event for the Emory Estate book that we talked about with Monique. We did our book launch there. It was January, I think it was January 11th. And after the book launch event, which was a couple of hours, then we had a ticketed, limited paranormal event, investigation. So there were 20 people that were able to buy tickets. And then we spent, I think it was like 5 hours investigating. We ran into 3 different ghosts. There was a crossing over. Yeah, it was amazing. It was intense too. And Monique and I had to go back after the investigation because there was another ghost on the 3rd floor that we hadn't had time to address. And he was really intense. But it's all there. It's really a fascinating read. I mean, if you thought the experience in Emory Estate was crazy, this one is even crazier.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much, does it? Like you just get into these places and they just, especially when you have mediums around, things just, tend to open up. I mean, obviously you can have these things happen, without having people who are sensitive, but it just seems like, we were talking about this with a guest recently, which is like, we have these really really famous places. All of these, and it could be anything. It could be old, asylums and places that have become kind of notoriously haunted. But I mean, there's just and I think a lot of people who are getting into paranormal investigation feel like they have to go to some of these really big places, and it's cool. But there are so many places out there that are that you can investigate. I mean, I don't think you could ever come close to, trying to get to some of the places where they're having really, really good experiences. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no a lack of shortage of places to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's excellent. Well, we're looking forward to those.
Yeah, I think that Monique would be happy to come back too with me to talk about the Hunt Library, because that's a crazy investigation.
Yes, maybe we can have you guys on in December or January to talk about it, like right before it comes out or right when it comes out. That would be good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. All right. Well, last time we were able to talk about your pet mediumship a little bit. We kind of got through the beginnings. We talked about how you got into that. What do you have? How often are your investigations things that you're going on now? Like you have so much going on, because I know you do private readings, and I know that you do investigations, and I know that you're doing cons. And so for the most, is it the authorship that's been taking up most of your time, I imagine, recently because of the deadline on that? And what do you kind of have planned in terms of getting out and investigating coming up?
Well, we just did an investigation with Monique. She and I did Wilson Castle in Proctor, Vermont.
Neat.
That was also a public ticketed event. There were 50
Mm-hmm.
people that signed up.
Oh,
for that.
wow.
So it was huge groups. So we had to split them in two.
Wow.
That was also insane. Secret love affair kind of thing that came out. Anyway, so that is the next book I'm going to be working on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there was that. That's it right now for investigations, but I've got a lot of things coming up. Like I have an animal rescue lecture about teaching people how pets communicate from the afterlife. Animal Rescue League of New Hampshire in Bedford, New Hampshire.
Okay.
September 21st. And as if I didn't have enough to do, I'm teaching adult education classes in 2 schools in northern New England, starting this month.
What are you teaching?
I'm teaching paranormal studies.
Oh, wow.
So some of the I'm going to Pets in the Afterlife lecture is one. I'm going to teach people how humans and spirit will communicate. I have a couple of different haunted places that I'm going to go through for the Halloween season and explain those. And I'm doing a brand new class that I'm putting together, how to write and publish your own book and market it.
Oh,
based on experience.
nice. There you go, people, aspiring authors.
There we go. And inspiring paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
curious.
interesting because we talk about that all the time because I don't know, like I don't think me and Jenny consider ourselves beginners anymore by any stretch of the means. I wouldn't consider myself to be any kind of expert yet either. So we talk often about like what, if someone is looking to get into the paranormal field, ways to start. So since you're kind of going to be talking, teaching that in a class, what are some of the keys that you have to like, what's the best way to kind of get into paranormal investigation?
Well, I always tell people the first thing to do is to read about it, just like going to a class. Study as much as you possibly can and get some basics. And then I would reach out to a paranormal group, local paranormal group. There are local paranormal groups everywhere. Or try to find a local medium. It's pretty easy nowadays to find anybody online, I think.
Yeah.
On social media, it's easy to drop them a note and say, hey, I'm trying to get started. Do you have any tips? Is there anybody you can put me in touch with to get acquainted with stuff? Where can I learn about different technologies and so forth? So it's really about research. And that's for everything, really.
Yeah.
I always tell people, too, that before they reach out to me about a pet reading, go to my website and see how it's done. Because sometimes people will send me a picture with the name of the pet and nothing else, and they won't even give me their name. And I'm like, hello, what? I don't know who you are. That's a beautiful cat. Do you want a reading or,
Yeah. They're just dropping it in there.
Yeah. So please do some research. So research is really the key, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I've had a lot of questions too, but like, groups will get started and they're like, well, for instance, my dad got into paranormal investigation just within the last year. And it's kind of weird because I do what I do. Obviously, I'm a weirdo. And I guess my dad was a little bit of a weirdo because some of the stuff I'm into kind of I got from him, but like I don't think he was ever interested really in like ghosts and things like that, really that much that I knew of. And then just within like the last year, he's like, I went and took a class on paranormal investigation. And then he started buying some paranormal, investigation equipment. And then he was like, I'm trying to find some place to go to be able to start doing some investigations. And I'm trying to find people. And so I was like trying to help him because he doesn't live near me. So I was like trying to help him like find that. And for people who are trying to get into the field, that can be quite the dilemma because you have a lot of places that charge a lot of money to be able to investigate, and you kind of have to break in and be able to find a group. Do you have any kind of, obviously that would be another area where you could really use your investigative techniques to find people and to find what to do next. But is there a place that you would say, hey, if you want to get into investigation, maybe you could kind of do this?
One of the things that you can do is go to any paranormal conference, as we know, and go to a Paracon. Pay the entry fee. You'll meet as many mediums and paranormal investigators there as possible, and there may be some local groups there. And I mean, everybody's going to be together in one place.
Yep.
So that's a really good way to do it. The other thing too is that even if you don't even have to wait to try and find somebody, you can just go to an historic property and see what if you're sensitive, see what you sense. Because that's how I discovered what I was getting was real. I went into a historic property. Little girl came to me, told me her name, told me how she died, told me her age, and then I verified it all. And my head dropped to the floor because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
If you're sensitive, do that. If you're not sensitive, you can always take a K2 meter in your pocket. And when you go into a historic place, keep it in your pocket, or take it out and hold it, and ask questions and see what you get. Just be respectful that you're in a historic place, and you don't want to disturb other people from enjoying the property, and do it by yourself. Don't bring in a large group of people who want to sit there and ask questions to ghosts, because that's not what they want you to be there for, unless you ask them. So,
no, that's great, because I think if you can find a quiet historic place too, that's open to the public, outside even, like that could be a great place. One thing when you were talking about that, the thing that popped into my mind, and unfortunately, I'm so used to it, I don't realize that they don't have these places all over the country. But we have a lot of Civil War battlefields around us. And they're just all over the place in Virginia. And you can go out into the woods and kind of be out there by yourself, and you can get a lot of really good evidence from Civil War battlefields. But maybe you have, Revolutionary War battlefields, or old hospitals or something like that. Yeah, I would definitely say that'd be a good place to start.
Just don't trespass.
Even active.
Don't be like Jenny and trespass. Yes.
What are you talking about? Me?
Did you trespass?
I don't know what he's talking about.
But you can go into active hospitals as well. And
I never thought about that.
Because there are ghosts there all the time. And I say that because I went to a hospital, brought a friend to have a checkup after he had a heart transplant, and I got in the elevator, and there was a patient that I thought was alive. She was not, but I could see her, and she was in a walker and a nightgown. And I asked her where she was going. She said, "The first floor. I'm going home." And I said, "You're not dressed to go home." And as I was talking to her, the door opened, and people were trying to get on, and I looked at them, and then I looked back, and she was gone.
Wow.
So, of course, I ran out of the elevator because they saw me talking to the wall.
You weren't scared of the ghost lady. You were scared of the people thinking that you were nuts.
Yeah. Well, I was in the right place to be committed, right?
Well, speaking of being committed, the thing about it is there's so many nurses and people who work in the medical field that have a story to tell you about working in a hospital.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's almost kind of like the police officers and military who see UFOs, the nurses and doctors that see ghosts.
Oh yeah.
It's like the same thing. It's just, in some ways, that's a great piece of evidence. I feel like for me, it's just the fact that nurses and doctors do see so much paranormal things happening inside hospitals that it almost seems undeniable, at that point. It's like there's so much correlation there.
And veterinarians.
Yeah, That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know if I probably have heard a veterinarian story before, but yeah, that's something I hadn't really thought of specifically. Yeah.
Do you know any good veterinarian stories?
I do not. Having just recently suffered veterinarian
Yeah.
trauma with the passing of my dog Tyler, I was not in the place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I imagine that would be another place where things
Yeah,
could
it would
be
have to be.
happening and experiences could be happening on a regular basis. Yeah.
And Carla in chat brought up this one thing I was to talk about too is going into graveyards, and you can go into graveyards. And that actually is one of the first things that my dad did when he wanted to start investigating. He got a buddy and they went to a graveyard because, that's one of the easiest places to go. And you can find good activity in graveyards, but we tend to find that those aren't the best places to investigate.
Have you found that too, Rob?
Yeah. Yes, I have. So what I've found is that the only time graveyards seem to be active is when you're actually going to honor somebody that is actually buried there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an earthbound entity. It's a spirit who's crossed over that's come back because you are honoring them.
Yeah.
And they want to acknowledge that you're there, and they want to thank you for that. So so I always tell people that generally people will haunt places that they used to go to in life and they're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only found one ghost in a graveyard in all of my travels in the world. And that is in the Greyfriars Bobby Cemetery in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Mm.
Okay.
And it turns out I just found out that there's a book about this particular ghost I ran into, who is a very, very nasty man, and he stayed behind. So
yeah. Well,
but yeah, so it seems to be rare.
Yeah, but, I was thinking, when we were talking about that, actually, when I have heard of people finding, getting evidence in a graveyard, it tends to be kind of negative things. Because, I don't think it is, like you said, unless you're intentionally going there to speak to, mom in a resting place or granddad or whoever. A lot of times when people come across evidence in a graveyard, it almost seems like there's things there that are trying to freak people out. In a lot of the cases that I've heard of. Yeah.
Like living humans trying to freak people out.
Well, possibly. I think that is one thing too. But yeah, there seems to be like some trickster stuff sometimes that you can find in graveyards as well.
The only experience I ever had in a graveyard was a historic property on Church Hill. The church where Patrick Henry gave his speech, "Give me liberty or give me death," is, it's an old church. So the churchyard is the cemetery. And I was there taking pictures one day, and it was way before I realized I was a medium, but I had all of these orbs showing up in the picture. I took a picture right after it. There was no orbs in it. And immediately I felt all of this energy around me, and I knew that there was a lot of people there. But again, it's like, it's a historic place in an old part of town it's like, is it the church? Is it the place? Like, I don't know if it necessarily had to be that it was the cemetery,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much action there, because it's in the city, which, that was one thing, Cole Drake just said in chat too. He's talking about going through a weekend ride in New England, and every little town has their own graveyards that go back to colonial times. Another theory I have about New England too is all the rivers and kind of like the fall line that kind of runs through there creates a lot of water action in New England that I feel like could help feed some of that paranormal activity. If it's always said that water can help kind of keep that active, and I wonder if that's not something that happens in New England as well.
Oh, absolutely. So I always tell people that water energy is something that really helps fuel the paranormal. So if you think about it, a lot of the haunted places are near a body of water, whether it's a river, stream, a lake, the ocean. I mean, here in New England, I know that every place along the coast has hauntings. So, and that's because it's right near the water. So,
Yeah.
yeah, water definitely plays a big part.
Yeah, and speaking of those things, like talking about the colonial stuff and going, having old graveyards and stuff in New England. We were talking about that when we had the gravestone gals on, because in Virginia we have. I think this is the top of my wish list right now for an investigation because we have Jamestown, which was settled in 1607, the oldest settlement in North America.
Yeah,
British settlement in North America.
That we know of.
But we can't. Well, you had Roanoke, you had the Lost Colony before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but British settlement. Yeah.
That's a different episode.
A different episode. Yeah. Well, yeah, we can have Graham Hancock on another night. But I would really, and I don't think this has ever been done, and I don't know if it'd be possible, but to investigate the original Jamestown, because they didn't even know that they thought it had been washed into the James River. And so, only within like the last 20 years, they discovered that Jamestown actually still existed. And they've been doing, they did the archaeological dig and of course the starving times and all that. And it's right on the James River. Yeah. Like literally a corner of it is in the James River. So like I would love to be able to investigate a spot like that, but I don't know if it'd be possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not anytime soon because they're still digging stuff up.
Not without that. Not without doing some trespassing. Yeah.
Yeah. Or walking around with the EMF meter in your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, if you're really desperate, you can go to the wreck of the Titanic, right, with an EMF meter.
Well, thinking about it, because you can take tours of it. Yeah. So if you had a Q meter in there and I guess you could try to sneak off in the corner and do a couple EVP sessions. People just think you're talking on the phone.
At Jamestown, not at the wreck of the Titanic, right?
Yeah, I'm not going there. A lot of people try to go there and didn't turn out very well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But there are a lot of places that have artifacts from the Titanic, which I think could also be something we could investigate, is artifacts from things and places you can't actually go to.
Haunted artifacts, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did see an exhibit of the Titanic, and there was energy radiating, just residual energies radiating off of these objects. But
that's what I was thinking to be.
Intelligent.
Yeah. Not necessarily ghost activity, but that's like psychometry and the energy of the tragedy, I'm sure, is still part of those objects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And which haunted objects is kind of like a whole nother, that's kind of been a big topic here lately too, especially with, the doll and all that stuff that's been going around. But the idea of attachments to objects was just something I was reading into, because like there's like kind of two beliefs with that I've seen recently. And one is that, like an object being able to like have like some kind of, whether or not something can be possessed or not, whether like an artifact or something can have a spirit attached to it, or whether it's just kind of like something that plays. I don't know. I guess you would call it like not like an active. What do you call it, Jenny? Like when a residual, like residual energy, kind of that gets stuck to an artifact. Is that what we would typically say?
So it's interesting that you bring this up, because actually in the Haunting of Emery Estate, one of the three ghosts that we encountered had purposefully attached himself to a mirror that he gave his wife as a wedding gift. And when Monique stood in front of the mirror, or sat in front of the mirror, she didn't know she could scry. And suddenly she saw in one frame herself age as an old man. And she was like, what? And on that investigation, we had other people go through, and the same thing happened to them.
Wow.
And they started going two at a time, because they got the first couple got scared.
Yeah.
But we learned that there was actually an intelligent male ghost that had decided to attach himself to that mirror because his wife was still alive.
Mm.
So there's more to the story, but
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty rare that people will attach themselves to things, inanimate things, but
not impossible.
not impossible.
Yeah.
I remember an
So-
antique store in Old Ellicott City, Maryland, that had a rocking chair out front. They would never sell it because it would rock on its own back and forth
Mm.
every now and then. And the man that owned it, that passed away, he said he never wanted his chair sold because he always wanted to come back and rock in it after he died.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So-
he was.
Yeah. So anything's possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
So the mirror situation, the people were seeing the man in the mirror is what was happening.
That's what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't know what the man looked like.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I wanted to go sit in front of the mirror, and I said, "Heck no, I do."
So that's a good question for you then. So like, as a fellow medium, usually if I'm seeing something, I'm seeing it in my mind's eye and not with my eyes.
Mhm.
So like for you, is that also what happens? Cuz like if I actually saw something with my real eyes, I think it would freak me out. Are you in the same boat with that?
Yes, mostly. I can say mostly because when I was in Ireland, I did see a shadow man crossing
Mhm.
through one of the Cork City Jail corridors, and I took 3 pictures, and he appeared in one, and that was the cover of the book.
Nice.
So I actually saw him, and it doesn't happen very often.
No,
Mostly
it
it's
doesn't
in-
happen to me very often either.
I'm
So did
happier
that-
with it
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
talk
because
to anything if I just see it in my mind. But
Yeah.
if like all of a sudden it was standing right there, I think I feel a little different.
well, that is interesting too, because like you have seen things before, but you don't typically see them when you're doing like a medium reading. But there are some mediums who do, right?
Yeah, there are mediums
Yeah.
who see things with their eyes. Or
Yeah.
for some, that's how it got started. They started seeing things and they realized this is not. So the experience of the lady in the elevator, where you thought it was a real person, did you see her with your eyes?
I did see her. That's why I thought she was a real person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Lord.
it's a rare thing. I mean, my
Yeah.
grandfather was the first one that I saw when I was
Mhm.
13, and he was as solid as ever in full color. And although I only gave him like 3 seconds of my time before I ran out with the dog, but yeah, but yeah. So it's rare for me to see them, like actually see them, but
Yeah.
but it's happened. I guess when they catch me by surprise, Jenny,
Yeah.
that's when it happens.
Mhm.
When I'm totally like not looking or not expecting it,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
just
oh,
getting in an elevator at the hospital.
you're dead.
Mhm.
That makes me wonder if I've ever seen people that I thought were real people and they were not living people. How many times does that happen to us on,
So that's a great point. Because my mom, who was also had this ability but was afraid to use it, said that her mother grew up in the town of, I think it was Avellino, Italy. And she said, in Avellino, Italy, everybody knew everybody. And when people passed away, other living people would still report seeing them walking the streets.
wow.
This is back in the 1800s. But
Hmm.
yeah, so so if you live in a very small town,
Mhm.
you may have that experience.
Yeah. Because you would know the person and you would know if they had passed or not.
Yes.
So do you know if that was something that freaked them out or was it just normal?
I don't know. My mother
No,
passed that story
sure.
down. She never
Yeah.
asked her mother either. So
Yeah.
I would be curious to know. So it's like, oh yeah, there goes There goes Anthony down this. Oh, he passed away last week. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal.
He can't die without
Yeah.
his coffee.
Yeah. Gonna go get his espresso or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's always an interesting thing too, though. Mentioning the espresso, though, is like there's so many stories where those things get connected, where like people will smell like pipe smoke or cigarette smoke, or like having a drink, hanging around in the bar, things like that. Like it seems like sometimes those vices kind of go into the other side. Maybe that cup, maybe that macchiato also.
Even good things, though. I mean, I was doing a reading for a woman who had, I think she had a golden retriever, and the golden retriever told me that he liked to go in the backyard where there was a pond or something, and he would always come in and track mud, and I was smelling wet dog, and that's what I put in the reading, and she said, "Oh my gosh, he used to do that all the time. It drove me crazy. He would leave paw prints, and I would smell wet dog in my house all the time." So, so any kind of smell, really.
Yeah. He's the golden retriever was still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one, I think I may have told you the story. I don't remember, but one ghost gave me an olfactory experience that I almost got in trouble with my husband because we were driving to a medium event many, many years ago, hosted by Barb Mallon, who's a medium in Northern Virginia. And we both suddenly smelled like someone had passed gas in the car, in the truck.
Oh, jeez.
And he looked at me and I looked at him and I said, "That's rude." And he said, "That's rude." And he said, "Don't be blaming it on me." And suddenly I heard this guy and he was laughing out loud. And he said, "This is Larry." And he said, my wife's going to be there where you are. And I used to love to walk in the kitchen in my t-shirt and boxer shorts and just let one go. So he almost caused a little argument between me and my husband on the way to this thing. I'm like, okay.
Or Rob, this would be a great way for mediums to just get out of the fact that they fart somewhere.
Yeah, it would be.
It was that was a ghost fart. Just so
Hey, there you go.
That was Larry. He said it was him. Just
it's like a step beyond blaming it on the dog.
Yeah, blame it on the dog, blame it on the ghost. Or better yet, you could blame it on a ghost dog.
There we go.
Oh, they've done that too.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some of those, but I'll never forget Larry. His wife won't either, apparently.
Yeah.
There's your next book, Rob.
Yeah.
Ghosts
in the wind.
Ghosts in the wind. Oh, mercy.
Who said it always has to be depressing, right?
I know,
Yeah, right?
I think that makes it even better when we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
Ay. That's good. Okay.
Well, that kind of but that's a good thing to bring up too, because, sometimes all this paranormal investigation stuff has to be spooky and scary and everything has to be evil. But we found lots of cases where we've started laughing out loud during an investigation, or, you just get like really good energy, or like people who are really happy. There were people who were really happy where they were. And so that's why there's a lot of energy there. So, even though, and I think just about anyone's guilty of this, so I'm not really trying to point fingers, but even though there's lots of spooky imagery that's used for paranormal investigation, sometimes it's anything but spooky, right? I mean, there can be good stories, funny things that happen with paranormal investigation as well.
Sure. Yeah. And one prime example is doing an investigation with Monique, because she always makes everybody laugh. Mm. She has the best sense of humor. I mean, everybody can be so tense. We were in Wilson Castle, and there was a shadow, an actual shadow of a man in the corridor, and she cracked a joke, and everybody started laughing, and it cut the tension so that we didn't have to focus on what was scary, because it was pitch black in there. So
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which,
we
if you
don't.
do run into something negative, they don't like when you laugh. So keep that in mind.
True.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's true. Well, we tell them that we're laughing with them.
Yeah. Here you go. Here, CMC's got another smelly ghost story.
Oh,
Another
great.
tarot streamer, Treasure Trove, has a resident ghost in her home she calls Stinky because it smells like wet gym socks when lurking.
Mm.
Yuck. Of all the things that you would pick to smell like in the afterlife, you're going with wet gym socks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ew.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
like boiling liver, for God's sake. Stop.
Oh,
takes all time,
Get
right?
away.
I'll stick with the
Yeah.
perfume and the cigar smoke. The wet gym socks, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. I could deal
Yeah.
without that. Yeah.
I have another good example though for you. I did a reading for a dog that had wound up. The dog had passed in the garden, and the mom told me that the dog happened to pass under a rose bush where the dog used to always sit, and every now and then when she's thinking of the dog, she'll smell roses in the house.
Oh,
So that's a good thing. That's a really
yes.
that's a sweet
Yeah.
thing. So
It's a nice smell.
I want to offer you a balance here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parts and
Not
roses.
just wet gym socks.
Balancing
Yeah.
it out. I love that
Well,
story, though. Dog
as,
eating a rose bush.
Yeah. As CMC just noted in chat, it is the top of the hour, so it's 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, and
my
we
gosh.
just wanted to reset a little bit here for everyone who's joined or jumped in since the beginning of the show. We are joined tonight by Rob Gutro, and we are talking about, well, a lot of paranormal stuff. We're talking about mediumship and paranormal investigation and pet
Ghost
mediumship
farts.
and wet gym socks and ghost farts. So that's what we have going on tonight. New books that are coming out, and we will have the links below. If you're watching us later, all the links will be listed in the description
And if
below.
you're watching right now, the links are at the top of the Twitch chat
There you go.
and back in the chat of the Facebook page.
Yeah, and so you can find Rob at robgutro.com, GUTRO.com, and petspirits.com. So those are two websites you want to check out if you want to find out everything about Rob. If you are watching the show or hanging out with us now, then you already know Medium Jenny Lee. But did you know you can book a private session, explore her spiritual services, or check out her latest content all in one place? Head over to mediumjennylee.com. Whether you're seeking guidance, answers from beyond, or just curious about what the spirit world has to say, Jenny offers personal readings, mentorship, and more. Don't miss your chance to connect directly. Visit mediumjennylee.com and take the next step on your spiritual journey. Your journey to the weird is just a click away. Okay, and I guess I should mention here too, we are going to attempt to do a couple of giveaways for some kind of short readings this evening. So if you would like to put your name in the hat for that, we need a couple things. One, you have to be here in chat. Two, you have to jump over to our Discord channel, which is linked over. I guess we'll get that over there again in the chat.
Share it again, yeah.
You can go into Discord, and when you go into Discord, you are going to look for a thread there that is called Upcoming Guest Share Pictures. And if you go in there, you can put a picture of your wonderful friend who has passed. Give us a picture, give us a name, and then you'll be in chat. And if you get chosen, we're going to have two tonight. You can be there to have any information that Rob would need. And we're going to do a couple of those tonight for those who are hanging out with us. So we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you participating. All right. So
I wanted to ask, all of your books are available on Amazon as well, right?
They are, and they're in various formats. So for anybody who likes ebooks, they're on ebook, and all the ebooks have links to different things.
Oh, neat.
and they're on Audible as well. So
Ooh,
if you're
nice.
driving in the car, you want to hear it, you can listen to
Yeah.
it. You just don't see the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've become a big fan of audiobooks, and I like the fact that so many people are getting audiobooks done now.
Mhm.
Just because I spend, driving back and forth.
Mhm.
I really enjoy, that's, for me, that's become like a podcast time, audiobook time. So it's just so, everyone's busy. I mean, we just get busier and busier, right? So like, it's a great time to be able to use, for sure, to be able to get the audiobook.
We have a great
Yeah.
question. Go ahead, Rob.
It is. So, I like listening to. Well, I like reading books. I read paperbacks because I'm old school. I'm like
I do
reading
too.
the mystery. But yeah, and I get in the car today and I played Dolly Parton's Greatest Hits because I wanted to sing
Yeah.
instead of instead of hearing something heavy. Even though I'm reading a murder mystery, so you got to balance things out.
You do, yes.
There you go.
Luce has a wonderful question. Luce works for a cat rescue and is wondering if there is a book to start with to learn pet mediumship.
Well, all of the books that I wrote, Pets in the Afterlife, in the Pets in the Afterlife series, will actually teach you what signs to look for. And I share in the Pets in the Afterlife series. I also share readings that I've done with like one specific sign that each different pet will give. So it's really about being aware of what to look for. And they all explain the basics of how it works, and when you should look for signs like birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, adoption days, passing days, and so forth like that when it comes to pets. So really just read about the different signs, and then you'll have a whole volume in your head about what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
So,
Yeah.
one question that kind of popped in just talking about that, we might have discussed it the first time you were on, but so when you're communicating with as a medium with a pet,
Mhm.
does the information come across the same way as with the human? Because I imagine with the human, you're kind of hearing that human voice maybe. But how does that work with an animal? Is it the same or is it very different?
There are similarities and there are differences. And I know that's not a yes or no answer, but it's true. So pets can repeat in whatever language they learn a word that they heard.
Oh, yes.
All they have to do is share that word with me. They will also share images, pictures of different things like siblings or their favorite spot or different things that they encountered during their life. So they can repeat a lot of words. I always tell people that they have a much better memory for words than we think they do. And like border collies have been proven to learn up to 1,000 words. That's a lot. That's a big vocabulary. Dogs have told me about different singers. I mentioned Taylor Swift, I think, on my last time, but in a pet reading I recently did, a cat mentioned Ed Sheeran. Now I vaguely know who he is.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s pop classic country kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of I know the name and I don't know anything he does, but really. But there was one song. So the cat said to me, Ed Sheeran. So I said, okay, I'll have to look him up because I have no idea what he sang. And then I said, okay, tell me which song you want me to tell your mom about. So the cat made me stop at one particular song. When I sent this to the woman, it turned out she was in the UK, so she knew who he was. She said she wasn't a fan, but she went and played the video link that I sent her. In the video link, like 20 seconds in, was a cat that looked identical to her cat.
No way.
Yeah, blown away. She was blown away. And I had no idea because I didn't play the video.
How did the cat know that?
Got help from a human spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, but isn't that weird? So that just happened
so
like
weird.
3 weeks ago. Oh, wow. So they can share all kinds of things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a crazy story.
So thank you, Ed Sheeran, for including
Yeah.
that
There we
cat
go.
in your video.
Yes. It was a very important moment for Cat and Cat Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that
that's a wonderful story.
So
Wow.
there are so many crazy things that pets will share with me, and I will send them in readings, and then it will be the one thing that really bowls over the pet parent.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
find that too sometimes in medium readings. It's like the weirdest thing that comes through is the one thing that really is like the biggest validation for the sitter.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So as a
ha-
medium, you can't second guess it, no matter how weird it is, because it's coming through for a reason.
well, this might be a
Yeah.
weird question. This might be a weird question, but I'm curious if you've ever gotten from a pet reading, if you've
Mhm.
ever gotten clarification, maybe on like where the owner didn't know what happened in terms
Oh yeah.
of like animals disappearing, being stolen, whatever.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
something that comes through.
I've
Mhm.
solved a lot of mysteries of death. I think in my Pets in the Afterlife 2 book, there was a woman named Ginny who wrote me that she had 4 Westies, and they all died of strange, unknown or unconfirmed circumstances. And I was able to connect with each one of them and tell her what happened. And then she was actually able to piece it together and understand exactly what happened. One was bitten by a snake, for instance.
Oh,
Um,
dang.
Mm.
and died of snake venom. I can't remember what the other 3 were, but yes, I've solved mysteries of passings. But it, as I was saying, so these animals know a lot of things, and they get help from humans on
Mm.
the other side. Um, just back on July 2nd, I was going to do my some of my readings that night, but after dinner I said, okay, I am finally going to sit down and I'm going to watch a TV show because I never watch TV. And one of my favorite TV show series was Supergirl when it came out back in 2016,
Mm.
and so I happened to turn on the next episode, which was in the queue, and the name of the episode was called Valentine's Day. And I'm like, okay, so I watched it, I enjoyed it, and then I sat and I opened the next email that I was supposed to do. Well, the name of the cat was Valentine.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Synchronicities.
Yeah. So I said, so I wrote to the cat mom and I said the very first email was from a cat mom who wanted a reading for her cat Valentine, and I said,
Wow.
your cat already let me know that you wanted a reading.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. Another time I had just connected to a cat, and suddenly 2 books on my bookcase that are pretty packed fell off. And I thought, what in the world was that? And, there's nobody behind me. And
Yeah.
we have tiny little, dachshunds that couldn't get up there. It was the
Mhm.
cat. And the cat told me that he likes to walk around, or he liked to walk around on bookcases and stuff and knock books off and things
Yeah.
off shelves. And the cat
Typical
mom
cat.
said,
Yeah.
yeah, the cat mom says, yeah, that's what he used to do.
Dang cats always knocking stuff over.
And I have one other cat story I'll share with you that also blew me away, and it was just this week. I was doing a reading for a female cat, and the cat said to me the English word, smoky. And I was typing out stuff, and I said, I just heard the word smoky from your cat. I have no idea what that means. I said, I'm
Mm.
thinking that the other cat she connected with on the other side, maybe called Smokey, or I
Yeah.
don't know. So the mom wrote back and she said, yeah, I'm thinking the other cat she connected with on the other side was my childhood cat, Brandy, because we all used to joke that she sounded like a 60-year-old smoker when she'd meow. And I read that. I'm like, oh my gosh. This is crazy. So
That's awesome.
those are 3 examples of crazy stuff that I've done that I've just had in readings in the last couple of weeks.
That's
So-
amazing. I love it. CMC wanted to know if there's certain animals that are more chatty in the afterlife.
Yeah, it depends on their personality. So sometimes when I do multiple pet readings, some will push through first, and they'll stand in front. I had that. I did 3 dogs at the same time last week, and one of them was so insistent, and that was not the one that she wanted to come through. But she said, "Yeah, I get that because that was the one that was most needy for attention."
Not
So
for
yeah,
shame.
depends on their personality.
All right, everybody, let's get ready for this reading giveaway. I need to do a roll call because people have put their pictures in the Discord, but I don't think that everybody is here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to yell out your name. And if you're here, you need to let me know that you're here, or I'm going to take you out of the wheel of names.
Or definitely, if you're in chat and you have your information in Discord, you can go ahead and
I
put
know
your hand
some
up
of you are here, but some of you are not here.
Yeah. Just type pet in chat if you're here. Pet.
Hey, it's KC. Black Sheep Meat. I know Luce is here. Luce, you still here? Hogsters. I don't know if I've seen Hogsters. CMC I know is here. And Angel. I'm pretty sure I've seen Angel in the last little bit of time. So let me know if you're here. Cold Drake, did you send us a picture? If you did, I don't see your picture. I see Angel. Okay. I don't see KC. And Shadow Max. Shadow Max, you also put a picture in here, I believe. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's a lot of pictures.
No, it's coming from Shadow Max.
Huh?
Cole, do you have a different username in Discord? I think Cole might have a different, Cole Drake might have a different username.
Maybe. I thought Shadow Max put a picture in here. Maybe he got rid of it. Maybe he couldn't stay.
Possible.
So that's one important thing while you're looking for this, that when people send me stuff, sometimes their name will be different than their email, or if they go to pay for the pet reading, their name on Venmo or PayPal will be totally different from what their email is. And I always ask people, tell me what pet and what date you're getting a reading for, because my detective skills are not as good as Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, matching names with stuff is kind of hard. So I get it.
Shadow Max, you're here. Did you put a picture up? I thought I saw a picture for you earlier.
I think he had a living pet.
Oh, it's a living pet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it's just Luce and CMC and Angel, right? That's it? What were you going to say, Rob?
So people who do living pets are called animal communicators.
Mm-hmm.
People who communicate with pets that have passed are pet mediums.
Do you also do animal communication?
I do not. I have enough trouble with my living kids. One's on Prozac, so that'll tell you something.
Yeah. Okay, I see Shadow Max. Yeah, I did see Otis in there, but Otis is living. Mm-hmm. I got it. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to spin the wheel for the first one. We'll see how it goes, and then we might do a second. So let me share my screen. We're going over to the weird wheel. Let's do a little shuffle. All right, here we go. It's going to be Loose, Angel, or CMC. Who's going to get the reading?
The technology.
I'm a master of wheels. It looks like CMC. Woo! The CMC, congratulations. CMC. So now we got to go over and look at CMC's picture. CMC has a picture of Spooky, which is a male cat. Let me share that picture. Rob, do you need to know anything else about Spooky other than the name and the picture?
if there was a specific question or
Yeah. So do you have a question, CMC, that you or anything that you would like to know and when it comes to spooky? Let us know in chat, and
here he is.
we'll get this going. Yeah. All right. So we'll go.
Is CMC a man or a woman?
A man.
Okay.
How is he doing?
How is he doing? Well, he's still very much connected to you from the other side. So he tells me that sometimes he still follows you around in the house as kind of a shadow, because he was a shadow in the physical. He's almost like a familiar, like a witch's familiar. That's why I asked if CMC is a man or a woman. So I guess he would be like a warlock's familiar.
Yeah, CMC is very warlock-like, so that makes sense. Yeah,
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. He comes across as a cat that was very observant about every single thing, and almost judgmental about people that would come into your life. So he would kind of try to steer you away from the bad ones, and just kind of sit there when someone was good. So, but for the most part, he can still hear you in spirit because he's energy with his memories and personality, and so he can hear you and he can see you. So all you have to do is call his name.
CMC said he was a shadow and he hid in bushes to hunt birds, and he was judgmental.
There you go.
It was judgmental. Yeah. There you go.
CMC did a beautiful painting of Spooky with a pumpkin also that we have as part of our community art gallery. And yeah, which is familiar, I think is very fitting for this kitty.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a cute kitty. I love
Awesome.
black cats.
So for those of you who are not able to watch because you're listening to this podcast later in time, the picture is of a gorgeous black cat, solid black cat sitting on a fence with, it looks like yellowish green eyes. CMC, you can tell me if I'm wrong about that. Awesome.
Well, that's great. So he's still,
Beautiful.
still a shadow.
Yeah. He's literally a shadow. So this is a whole black cat.
There we go. Excellent.
Rob, do you feel like doing another one?
Sure, you can spin that wheel again.
Spin our wheel. Okay, I'm taking
all three of them in so that nobody feels
okay, that's
left
good.
out.
That would be lovely. Since you can see how we've only got 3 here. Okay, let's we've got Luce and Angel left. Let's see who gets the next one. All right, here we go. I'm going to shuffle, spin.
I feel like I'm on Wheel of Fortune.
I know, right?
Luce. All right, now Luce has like a plethora of critters in this pictures.
Okay.
Luce, which one do you want to hear from? Which one would you like Rob
Or
to
have
try?
they all passed?
Yeah, they're all passed.
Okay. Well, it depends on who's going to come through first.
Okay, would you just like me to show you all of them?
Yeah, we could put them up and see if one pops up for you.
I'll tell you which one comes through first.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, I'm gonna share the screen in a second, but we have 3 kitties and a dog, and the names are Lupin, Snoopy, Sheba, and Seamus. All right, let me get the
Snoopy
screen.
the dog.
I'm thinking so. You're gonna have to tell us. I would think that Snoopy would be the dog, but
Lupin, Snoopy.
Snoopy's the dog. Okay, so I think this is Lupin.
Snoopy is the dog. Yeah.
Okay.
Snoopy.
Oh.
And then Sheba. And Seamus. Which one are you pulled to, Rob?
So Lupin, Snoopy. So Snoopy is very laid back, but not when he was younger. He was kind of anxious, so he had some anxiety going on. But he tells me that the cats rule the house. So he was kind of almost the go-between. He was kind of when he got older, he was the calm force. So, so can you go back to one of the other cats? Not the first cat, the second cat. That one.
Sheba.
Yeah. Aptly named because she's telling me she was like a queen.
The Queen of Sheba.
The queen of the house. That and there was a little bit of attitude there, also with this cat. And if you can go to the last cat.
Oh, Seamus.
Seamus, okay. So Seamus was more pensive, more thoughtful, and would study people and try to get a feel for who they were. Sheba doesn't seem like she cared really about who they were, because it was about her. And what was the first cat?
First one was Lupin. Let's go back.
I'm not connecting much to Lupin. Just this kind of a gentleness and more affectionate than the other two. So,
nice.
But that's yeah. So that's your menagerie. But
so for what you picked up on about Snoopy, Luce verified very much so. Luce also said Lupin was my soul kitty. He's become more of a guide. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
And then I have a cool story about Sheba. So I was doing a reading for Luce, and I was like, this cat is coming through. And Luce is like, a cat rescue person, but there's no cat that is like that had passed. And within 10 minutes, like we're still trying to figure out who the cat is. Within 10 minutes of doing the reading, Luce gets a text from someone else that works on the cat rescue and sends the picture of Sheba and says, we need you to take this cat tonight.
Wow.
And the cat was communicating with me like, hey, I'm coming. Let them know I'm coming. But we hadn't got there yet. It was like, we were just still thinking that the cat was a deceased cat, It was crazy. Crazy times. Yeah. So cool.
All right.
So for those of you who are,
thank you, Luce.
For those of you who are not able to watch, we have Lupin is a beautiful, mostly white cat with a black head. Snoopy is the most adorable little sleepy doggy.
He looks like a Chihuahua dachshund mix, almost. Like
a little.
We have a dachshund
doggy.
Chihuahua mix.
Yes, we're gonna get to Angel too, Keisha. And then Sheba is like a calico. She does look like she does not give to craps about you. And then Seamus was another black and white, like tuxedo kind of cat.
Yeah. And Lou said that Sheba and her sister Maggie were our first hospice fosters.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
That's sweet.
So you had one more?
Okay.
We have
one more.
Angel. Yeah, we have a few more minutes to get to Angel. Let me go get to her pictures. She has a cat. Hold on a second. Angel, your cat Kato is still living, right? Because that's the one we were just talking about. So it looks like you're going to have a horse. You're getting a horse, Rob.
Okay.
Roxy, I'm assuming, is a girl horse. Angel, is this correct? And I'm going to share that screen right now.
Okay.
If I could click on the right button, that would be great.
Stop horsing around.
Stop horsing around. Click the daggone screen. What are you waiting for? We're running out of time. Okay. Roxy.
Oh, wow. She's beautiful. What a beautiful horse. So, very smart, very learned, very proud of her accomplishments. So did you show her? Because it feels like she was doing things that not like on the farm, but she was like going over obstacles or going around obstacles, or she was running.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, so she was very proud of that, and she said that sometimes if you ever go back to where you practiced with her, you might see another horse that looks like her, with the white stripe in the front, and you might, if you don't see another one, listen closely because you might hear her galloping in the distance.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Angel has been, over the last 6 months or so, has been developing her own pet mediumship skills and own animal communication skills. So, yes, there you go, Angel. Angel said yes, showed
wow.
she was very good jumping and dressage.
There we go.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. And then
She's still very
CMC,
proud of that, and thankful.
we want to share CMC's painting of Spooky.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome painting.
Yeah,
we
very
love
nice.
that painting, CMC.
Very nice.
Awesome, Rob. That was so fun.
Thank you so much, Rob. Yeah, we appreciate that so much.
It's like
That's wonderful.
speed rounds of animal pet mediumship.
Yeah, nice way to wrap up. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, we've already
It's just
talked
good to know
before.
that they can, they still convey their personalities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So right here, we got 1 minute left. One more time, tell everybody where they can find you if they
Yes.
want to get a pet reading or if they want to purchase one of your books.
My books are on Amazon. Petspirits.com or robgutro.com goes to the same exact place, and look up the little header that says pet readings. So I'm booking out 11 months in advance.
Wow.
So, I've been catching up. It was over a year. So,
Wow, Rob. That's awesome, though. Good for you.
yeah, I know it's draining though.
Mhm.
Each one is an hour and a half, and it wipes me out. But my dog Tyler, who passed, is helping me. And by the way, Tyler just showed me a rainbow last week when I asked him for a sign, which was a huge relief. And today he came through. Our friend Ed, who passed, my husband's late partner, came through and let me know that he was with him. So that was a huge relief.
That is, I got another synchronicity for you, Rob. I do thumbnails for the show. Like, sometimes like we have our friend from Mexico Unexplained on, and I'll find like some pyramid or some Aztec stuff or something to put on there. And for ghost people, there'll be a scary, cottage in the woods or something. And yesterday I was making the thumbnail for YouTube for our show tonight. And I was like, last time we talked about your trip to Ireland. So I had used like a picture from Ireland, And so yesterday I was like, what am I going to use for Rob's thumbnail picture tonight? And I was like, you know what? What about the Rainbow Bridge? And so the thumbnail to tonight's show has already been posted, and it is a rainbow. And when I picked the picture, I said the rainbow isn't bright enough. And I went in and I saturated the rainbow like to the really bright color. And so that kind of blows my mind a little bit.
That's awesome.
Sounds like Tyler might have had a little hand in that.
It sounds like Tyler was coming to you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
I needed that too. Really did. It's hard.
It is very hard, and we're sending you all the loves and hugs and good vibes and healing and all that.
Thank you.
We have a couple of great comments for you right before we head out here. CMC said, "Thank you, Rob. Great episode, great reading. Wow, you nailed it. So awesome. Thank you so much for being on, Rob. It was great to have you back. And I know this won't be the last time that you're on. We're going to get
Awesome.
back on in the future. I think we should have you and Monique too soon on when your book comes out. That would be wonderful.
Okay. Thank you, my friends. It's so great to see you again.
Yeah. All right. So for everyone who is listening at another time and another place, we will see you all next time.